Good afternoon, everybody. Also in the name of Silke Schönert, my greetings to all of you, all EnRHEd partners, and all the people we met during the EnRHEd project. So if the agenda still holds, and if I'm correctly informed, then it's around 3 p.m. and you may have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in front of you. And in addition to this cup of tea and cup of coffee, I want to give you a brief overview of what we as the team from RFH-Köln contributed to the EnRHEd project, what we achieved, and also what we have learned during this project. So as a University of Applied Science, to be specific, as a non-governmental University of Applied Science, with a strong dedication to the region of Rhineland, and at least as strong dedication to optimally qualify our students for their job life. International activities for RFH-Köln are always focused on teaching competencies to prepare our students and our graduates for tasks also in international projects. Job life for many of our students will be also comprising participation in international projects, and if we can contribute to their success after they leave our university, then we did a good job. And in this context, EnRHEd is a really important component. It is, at least as far as I know, up to now the largest European Union funded project for RFH-Köln. So there's also a term coined by the European Union called internationalization at home, which is, let's say, which comprises tasks beyond, let's say, just teaching. So internationalization at home is also a matter of administration of projects, and maybe in contrast to many of the governmental institutions like the larger universities also in Germany, we have to always think and act economically. So this is also one part of administration of projects of this size for a university of our size. So what was the proposed task of RFH-Köln in the EnRHEd project as planned and as listed in the project proposal? We focused one topic which is a cross-cutting concern for many, if not all, universities across the world, namely the topic of e-learning and the integration of digital tools in the course of the students. So one part of this is to have an adequate infrastructure to do so, and the other part is, of course, to know the methods of teaching based on software tools, on online conferences like this one, etc. So this was originally our part in this project, and in 2020, more or less parallel to the kickoff workshop of EnRHEd, the world was struck by the pandemic, and this is a reason why the topic of e-learning and of having an adequate infrastructure to support e-learning gained much in importance, as well as for all the universities, including, of course, RFH-Köln, and also the importance of this topic within EnRHEd. So the importance changed a bit, and as you can see here, we immediately started in EnRHEd as well as in RFH-Köln with workshops which were provided by the team members Stefan Ludwigs, Patrick Bührer, and Philipp Thaller. And there was a transfer from and to both sides. So what we learned during EnRHEd was transferred to teaching at RFH-Köln, and what we learned in teaching at RFH-Köln was also part of these kind of workshops for EnRHEd. So it's a win-win situation for both sides of this project. During this task within EnRHEd, we, together with the partner institutions of EnRHEd, we defined, following their requirements, the infrastructure which enhanced the existing infrastructure at all of the institutions. So you see some of the photos from the different partner institutions and what they and how they actually enhanced their infrastructure for e-learning and distance teaching. So in addition to this original task from the proposal, we also added some workshops in the second half of the EnRHEd project, which are focused on the actual teaching and the actual teaching which is relevant to any University of Applied Science. So the focusing practical-oriented teaching to prepare students optimally for their later job life. So in addition to understand, of course, the theoretical foundations which are needed to solve certain problems in industry, you also, at least this is our experience, and we try to transfer these experiences also through the EnRHEd project to the partner institutions. It's not only a matter of knowing how to solve problems on a theoretical basis, but also to do it in a very practical context. So to actually cooperate with industry partners and to work together with them to solve the problems, and not as not from the perspective of teaching stuff, but from the perspective, of course, of groups of students who work together to solve these problems during their study, as well as they will do after they graduated. So in this context, we had several online workshops, and beyond the online workshops, thanks to the effort of Roberto and Luciana, we were able to support a student group from RFH-Köln to visit Rwanda in early 2022, in April, May 22, and to welcome also a group of students at RFH-Köln in September until November of 22. So this was the contribution of RFH-Köln to try to demonstrate the benefit of practical-oriented teaching, not only in the form of workshops and PowerPoint slides, but also with actual people working together across the different institutions. So it was also, I think, and I hope for all the participating students, a very impressive part of their study to work in this kind of setup, which is also not the regular part, at least not for international projects. Also for our students, they work in groups, they work together with industry, but mainly not in this international context. So this is one aspect which was added and enabled by the EnRHEd project. So the actual impact sorry, of EnRHEd to the RFH is that by that all the involved members of the team, from teaching, students as mentioned, but also from administration of RFH-Köln, had the chance to gather new experiences in this kind of project. So as a side effect of EnRHEd and of the cooperation and the talks before we had this cooperation, the network, the international network of RFH-Köln was also enhanced. So since the first talks of EnRHEd in late 2018 and early 2019 until the start of the actual projects in 2020, especially the cooperation with INES proved to be very vivid and very helpful for our students, because since then there is a constant flow of 1 or 2 students per year which visit INES and mainly do some research for their bachelor thesis. And also on staff level, we have a very good and very constant exchange with INES. We have visitors from INES at RFH-Köln, and also in October this year, we will have 2 colleagues again visiting INES from RFH-Köln. So this is a really good example of how projects and also even the preparation of these projects can help to improve the international network of an institution like, for example, RFH-Köln. As already mentioned, also the experiences during the pandemic in teaching were transferred not only from one side to the other, but in both directions. So we benefited from the experiences, and we hope that the partners also benefited from the experiences we gathered and we try to integrate in these workshops. Okay, so as you know from all blockbuster movies like this one, the best comes at the end. I would like to thank all the EnRHEd partners, all the collaboration partners from Rwanda, Rwandan universities, from Liège, of course, from Parma, for their cooperation. It was much fun to work with you. And personally, I would like to thank 3 people in particular. At first, Luciana, who made this whole project happen for RFH-Köln. She wrote the proposal, she managed the project, and together with Roberto, of course, both of you had a never-ending patience and passion for this project, which is really outstanding. So both of you did a great job. And the third one I would like to say thank you is, of course, Fabienne from INES. You also made us feel really home when we visited INES and Rwanda. You joined us on our different journeys from 2018 to 22. And yeah, greetings from Uncle Thomas. So enjoy the rest of this meeting, enjoy the rest of the workshop, and I hope to see you somewhere between Rwanda, Italy, Belgium, and of course Germany. Have a good time. Thank you.